Thank you for joining me on another episode of Mindism. I'm Dr. Roshan Jain, psychiatrist based in Bangalore, India. Mindism videos intend to raise awareness, which is cornerstone of any mental health toolkit. I hope you find these videos helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mindism. I often get asked, what are the 3 standard pieces of advice on your prescription? And this is such a common question. People have such a misperception about psychiatrist prescriptions, thinking they only have a list of medicines on them and that the psychiatrist only prescribe tablets. It might be true for some scripts given by others, but not on mine. I think motivating individuals with emotional and mental health difficulties require much more than medicines. A good specialist will offer an attentive ear, listen deeply, and provide timely analysis, advice, and guidance. This means helping someone change from less to more adaptive behavior, or from a limited to heightened awareness about self, their emotions, and how they relate to others. This process may be called counseling at an informal level, or psychotherapy when it is conducted formally and has specified focus of conflict resolution or reducing presenting features, for example, helping overcome anxiety and panic attack. In addition, I firmly believe that people have inherent ability to heal themselves and are capable of recovery from illness and emotional difficulties when they are treated with respect, compassion, and warmth. And when you combine deep listening, empathy, and unconditional positive regard, the engagement with advisory, be it medicines or psychological methods, is much, much better. So here are 3 pieces of advice on almost all my prescriptions. The first and the foremost is always prioritize your sleep. I would estimate about 80 to 90% of people presenting with any problems in my clinical practice have significant sleep disturbances. While many have stress, anxiety, and other psychological issues, many more don't have any identifiable mental illness, but are a consequence of lifestyle and voluntary sleep deprivation. This means they ignore the sleep over everything else, subsequently develop insomnia and inability to sleep, stay asleep, or wake earlier than usual. Remember, depriving yourself of good quality and quantity of sleep is a form of self-harm or self-torture. And many are doing this on a daily basis, keeping themselves awake longer than required and habitually sleeping in the early hours of the morning. Be reminded that consistent sleep deprivation has imminent psychiatric consequences such as anxiety, panic attack, depression, addictive disorders, and an increased risk of diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, and heart disease. My advice to all, therefore, is if you can do anything well in any given 24 hours, then try and sleep well. Always prioritize your sleep. Develop a disciplined routine around sleep-wake time. Start unwinding at least an hour before you sleep. Ensure going to and getting out of bed at the same time each day. Create a restful ambience in your room with soft music and incense. Declutter your sleeping space from small, medium, and large devices, that is mobile phone, laptop, and television. Switch off notifications on your mobile phone to avoid unnecessary disturbances. Importantly, avoid all devices for at least an hour or 2 before sleep. Avoid stimulants like coffee, tea, nicotine, alcohol for 2 hours before you sleep. Consider 5 minutes of deep, slow breathing meditation before you sleep, which can calm the mind and the body. Finally, if you have tendency to dwell on your thoughts and worries and haven't been able to sleep, then get out of bed, onto a chair, read a gentle book or a magazine until the urge to sleep returns. Overall, get at least 8 hours of sleep at night. Wake early to start the day well. Remember, night of restful sleep will ensure alertness and energized day. Sleep is a great de-stressor and a rejuvenator, so don't ignore it. Advice number 2, exercise daily. Exercise is proven to have an antidepressant effect, but unfortunately, it is one of the most underutilized antidepressant. So get some physical exercise regularly, about 30 to 45 minutes, 5 days per week if your age and health permits. YouTube offers many free online classes, therefore we can't make excuses for not knowing the right exercises. But if you have never exercised, then gentle stretching or sun salutation or yoga is better than doing nothing. And if you are not restricted due to pandemic, then walking is a great way to get some activity. Thirdly, practice deep, slow breathing meditation daily. Meditation can clear brain fog like nothing else. It can bring your mind to the present, away from the regrets of the past and apprehensions about the future. It can bring qualitative changes in thought processes, make your mind calmer and more intuitive. In addition, it is proven to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression and improve memory and focus. New research suggests that you don't have to devote yourself for years or months of your life to practice of meditation to reap the benefits. In fact, meditation can change your brain for the better in as little as 11 hours of meditation. Meditation can also be done anytime, anywhere, whether at work, at home, school, or even in a car. You don't need any special equipment or gym membership. My advice is to start meditating for 5 minutes each day and build up to 15 minutes or longer. Meditate on waking and before sleeping, as this will ensure that you start and end the day well with a calmer mind. Meditate for 5 minutes when your thoughts drift and worries take over. One must persist with the meditative practice and the result will all be yours. Our lives are often so fast-paced that it can seem impossible to find time and space to meditate, much less to even believe that you can clear your mind completely. But all you need is a few minutes to get started, and the silence and the benefit to your brain can last a lifetime. Thank you.